You're listening to the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Good call. Hey, I'm going to hop off here, so I just want to toss out again real quick. Also, Will, it was excellent to meet you at Heroes and Legends, brother. My wife, Beth, she also wanted to say hey to you before I hopped off.
Hey, it was great meeting you guys also, man. I'm like rocking my Razor Ramones t-shirt all over the place. I actually wore it to the ring when I faced AR Fox. I don't know if y'all noticed that or not. I wore my Razor Ramones shirt to the ring when I faced AR Fox and stuff like the next week. So
that's insane, AR Fox. and let me take this back to the beginning. AR Fox was wrestling Uha Nation in the match I was talking about, you guys.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we brought it all back around. But anyways, Zane, thanks for having us. Will, you're the light beast. I hate you.
I hate you too.
All right, see you Friday at the 5th quarter, and everybody check out the Razor Ramones on all the social medias.
Thank you, brother.
All right, have a great night. Beast, you going to stay with us for the next half hour or so?
Oh, yeah, I don't have much to do, so I'm still here with you.
Okay, all right. Well, this is the Undisputed Wrestling Show. We've got Dave the Beast Barnett from the Razor Ramones and the NWA Continental Champion, the Morning Star Will Huckabee. Killer Kev is throwing in some ones and twos every once in a while and asking some thought-provoking questions. And I am the Bearded Wonder, Zane Paisley. I want to throw in a quick plug. I will be in Freetown, Indiana, this coming Saturday night. I will be doing some ring announcing duties for Exodus Pro Wrestling. So check that out. And the Prophet Rick Craig will be there as the general manager, so that should be a lot of fun. And I will be at the 5th Quarter Lounge in beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana, this Friday night, representing the Undisputed Wrestling Show at Revenge of the Nerds. Big pro wrestling, Star Wars, any kind of geeky thing that you can think of will be represented there. So looking forward to all that. Steve Amell, what is he, Green Lantern? Is that what he is?
Rex is off the show. We can end this stick of not knowing who people are.
No, I really don't know what... I've never seen it. He's on the CW, right?
He's the Arrow.
He's
Green
what?
Arrow.
Green Arrow. Okay.
Well, it's not Green Arrow anymore. It's just the Arrow.
Yeah, on the show he's just the Arrow, but you know they're still calling him the Green Arrow on Raw and everything. Pretty much what he is. They might get around to actually calling him that on the show, but who knows?
Kev,
for now, he's just the Arrow.
Kev, are you a fan of the show?
Oh, I love it.
Oh, cool. All right.
It is almost one of the best produced shows. There's occasions where the show will drive me nuts. Like last season, all of the crossover episodes that they did with The Flash, all of them just felt really cheap and gimmicky to me, and the only purpose was just to cross-promote the other show. I think the shows on their own are really good. The crossover shows, not so good.
All right. So the Arrow, Steve Amell, which I've never even heard of this show, and they obviously have fans like Kev. Is it kind of like are the fans really big fans? Is it like Buffy the Vampire Slayer type thing?
It's about up there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, it's got its devoted fans, especially Stephen Amell. He's big on. He's like the Zack Ryder of superhero shows.
Oh, okay. That's a great analogy. Thank you, Beast.
Yeah. He's big with his fans on the internet.
He is going to be tagging with Neville versus the Cosmic King, King Barrett, and Stardust. Beast, what do you think about this match?
I think it'll be pretty neat to see what he does. He's a lifelong wrestling fan. He went to shows up in Toronto when he was a kid, and the cool thing about it is this isn't like some crossover thing on USA. This is actually something Stephen Amell's been like pushing for since back in the days of guest general managers, and they finally listened to the fans and finally perked up and saw what he's all about. And I'm excited to see what he's going to try and do, because he's supposedly out there training, busted himself up a little bit, but There's been pictures of him in the ring and everything, so he might pull out some surprises. And I think it's going to end up with Neville getting the pin and celebrating with the heroes over the villains.
Do you think he's going to be wearing his Arrow costume, or do you think he'll be wearing standard gear?
He'll be wearing gear that alludes to the Arrow costume, I believe.
Okay, all right. Kev, since you're a big fan of Steve Amell, do you have a prediction for this match?
Yeah, it's probably going to be Amell and Neville.
Okay.
I say Neville's probably going to do most of the wrestling, though.
Yeah, you would think so.
Right.
Will, what do you think about this outsider coming in? Did you see Triple H's promo a couple weeks ago where he said, "You'll never be one of us"?
Yes.
What do you think? What do you think about this actor coming into the world of professional wrestling?
I think if he does a hip toss correctly, I will be happy.
Hey, Maria Menounos surprised us, didn't she?
Yes, she did. But Snooki was just as bad as we thought she was going to be.
You know what? A lot of people talk smack about Snooki. I didn't think she did that bad at all. I thought she did a fine job.
Yeah, she did good to be Snooki.
She didn't embarrass herself.
Oh no, she didn't. But
unlike that other chick from the real world that went and did like TNA the next month?
Yeah.
The next week?
But okay, getting to the match though, Kev, here's the thing, that as a wrestler, a part of me is like happy that there's a part of me that's happy, that wrestling is getting mainstream attention. You know what I'm saying? No matter how big, no matter how small, I'm happy that wrestling gets mainstream attention. At the same time, I hate the fact that this attention comes at the expense of one of the boys who has busted their butts to try to get a spot on the pay-per-view and is now not getting a spot because of this superstar. Yes, more revenue means bigger paycheck, but at the same time, these guys have busted their butts to finally get a shot, and here's this guy once again. I think it would have been better if this guy is a manager, sitting on the outside of the ring, and then, has his little spot, does the fast press, et cetera, et cetera. Now, don't get me wrong, I was completely surprised at his athleticism, the way he hopped over the top rope and stuff, and immediately, did the little takedown and stuff, the double leg takedown on Stardust. I was immediately surprised about that. He did show a level of familiarity with professional wrestling. Let me put it like that. But this match right here, I'm not really looking forward to. Hopefully, Neville, as much as I like Neville, I hope that they lose, and I hope they lose miserably. I hope that Barrett and Stardust, and especially Barrett, just beats the piss out of them. And that way, when this guy goes back to Hollywood, like Piper would say, when this guy goes back to Hollywood, he can say, hey, say what you want to say, but these guys are for real. I hope they don't protect this guy at all. Well, I hope they protect him, but I hope they legitimately rough him up in the ring and stuff to let him know that, hey, no matter how much money you have, no matter how many big power friends you have or whatever, no matter what the people in the front office says, you will never legitimately be one of us, and here's why.
Oof, I don't know about all that, because I think even before any of this even had a whiff of starring, Stephen Amell would probably be one of the first people in Hollywood to jump in defense of wrestling.
You know what, Will? I wish somebody had said that to Floyd Mayweather.
Right, I agree. Yeah. If we're talking Floyd Mayweather, I'd be right there with you, Will. I'll be right there with you.
Big Show should have legitimately just dotted his I and crossed his T.
All right. I'm gonna say the Arrow and Neville will take the victory because, as I said earlier, WWE always likes to put over the guest stars. So that's who I'm going with. The next match I have listed is the 9-Diva Elimination Tag Team match. And I did do some research and got some clarification. It is not an elimination match where if you get pinned, you're out. It is if one of your teammates gets pinned, you're out. So it's the team sorority submission sisters, whatever they're called, Team PCB versus Team Bella versus Team BAD. Will, who do you have in this match?
I think You know what? In this match, I like the sorority. What was it? Submission sorority name?
Sure.
You know, I like them. I like the look of them. I like the fact that they all have very unique submissions and stuff. But I'm gonna go for Team BAD just because I like to see every once in a while. I like to see the bad guys go over in a real gritty sort of fashion and stuff. And I think that those girls have they really need to get a big win under their belt.
What do you think, Beast?
I think either one of two things. I think Team BAD is going to win after the Bella team gets eliminated first and they get all shocked and upset about it. Or, as much as I don't want to say it, I see Team Bella winning. I think that's the more likely thing is Team Bella is going to win because I think the end of this is them getting dethroned, so they probably need this win or something like that.
Kev, do you have an official prediction for this match?
I'm gonna go with the Bellas.
Oh,
yeah.
Right. I think that they're gonna push Sasha Banks to the moon. I'm gonna say Team Bad is going over, and she's gonna be the star. She's gonna be like the sole survivor type thing, where she does all the work for her team. So I think that she's gonna go over. So Team Bad, which is legitimately the worst team on there, but Sasha Banks is going to propel them to the win. So
something that I caught just the other day. Do you remember what Stephanie Mann said a couple of weeks ago when she brought the NXT Divas in?
That she was starting the revolution?
Yeah, but apparently she's not starting the revolution. She's restarting the revolution because she said the exact same words to the Bellas at SummerSlam last year.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's funny.
She was talking to him in a backstage segment, and she said that she wanted to start a revolution in the Divas division, and she wanted to start with them.
Well, hey, there you go. I think that this new blood, I think it's a good start to it, but they actually have to have storylines instead of you're on this team, you're on this team, you're on this team, and that's all they've done so far. It's great that they've had more match time, but they haven't had more promo time, and they haven't developed any stories other than these 9 women are divided into 3 different groups, and they don't like each other. There's no real rhyme or reason to it. Did they outright come out and say that Team Bad is comprised of non-white women? No, but that's why they were put together. Did they ever say that the team PCB is 2 pasty girls and an Oompa Loompa because she's orange? No, there are no real rhyme or reason for these 3 sets of women to dislike each other. So that's the next step in the Diva Revolution. Any reaction to that?
No. Well said.
Yeah, you covered it.
Okay. All right. The next match that I have listed on my card, which is I think it's probably going to be match of the night. Kevin Owens versus Cesaro. Two great guys in the ring that are trying to prove something and trying to draw some eyeballs to them. Will, what do you think about this match?
I'm really excited to see this match because if memory serves me correctly, once they really got to the level that they're on now, they never really faced each other in a singles match on the indies and stuff. So I'm really excited to see what these 2 guys have, in store for them, have in store for each other in the ring and stuff, and what they're able to put together for the fans and stuff. I'm pretty sure that they're not going to let them do all of, their signature moves that they used to do on the indies and stuff. But I think we're going to see a lot of things out of both of them that we haven't seen up to this point.
So who do you think's going to win?
Oh, Kevin Steen, without a shadow of a doubt. I'm definitely thinking that he's going to be on the roll this weekend. He's going to regain the NXT Championship, and then he's going to beat Cesaro.
All right, Kev, what do you think about that?
Get back to me.
Okay, Beast, what are your thoughts?
All right, that's good, because I wanted to, I was going to say off of Will's thing, I didn't really think of that. That would be interesting, Kevin Owens winning the NXT title and then walking into that match as an NXT champion. That would be pretty interesting. So that makes me rethink NXT a little bit, and I'm kind of seeing Kevin Owens winning this one. It's going to be a great match, but I think it's going to have a not-so-great finish, and they'll probably work towards the rematch like they did with Cena. These guys are going to have good matches, and they're going to want to do it again. So I think Kevin Owens via some kind of shady finish.
I don't know if this is so much of a prediction or just a hope, but I think that Sami Zayn might come out to interfere. We haven't heard anything much about him lately since he was injured. I'm hoping that he's doing better now, and that propels him to the main roster spot, and that would get the old El Generico, Kevin Steen feud restarted. So my hope / prediction is that Cesaro wins off of interference from Sami Zayn. Okay, back to you, Kev. What's your thought?
I like that scenario. I'll go with it.
Okay, awesome.
That brings up another very interesting point on why Owens might walk out with the NXT title again to reignite that match and have Sammy chasing that belt again.
Yeah,
that would be interesting.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. The next one is billed as family versus family. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose versus the Wyatt family. Guys, it is about 10-10, so we need to start getting a little bit more succinct on these. Will, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna say the Wyatts. They've been on the roll and stuff, man. I'm gonna go with the Wyatts on this one.
Okay. Beast, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, it'll be easy for succinctness. Wyatts, I'm sure. Smash don't really have too much going for it.
Kev.
I'm sorry, what was the match again?
Reigns and Ambrose versus Wyatt family.
Wyatt family.
Do you guys see either Reigns or Ambrose turning heel on this match?
Nah.
No, not really. Not either.
Okay. My prediction is Wyatt family, but I'm hoping that they rejuvenate the Reigns character and have him turn heel. I don't know if that's an official prediction or not about Reigns, but I'm hoping so. Sheamus and Orton. Is this 2010 again?
Yep. Moving on.
Yeah, Beast, what's your official prediction?
I'm going to go pee, maybe get something to eat, see what Beth cooked for us on the fun party.
So this is replaced the women's match as the pee break, huh?
Definitely.
Okay, Will, what are your thoughts? Orton and Sheamus.
Yeah, I'm with Beast on this one. Like, I'm probably gonna go take a really long, relaxing poop during this match. But just for shits and giggles, I will say Sheamus.
I'm going to say Orton just because that Money in the Bank briefcase always you lose every match until you cash it in. So I'm going to say Orton on this one. It's the WWE Tag Team Championship match. For some reason, they're doing a 4-way. The champions, Primetime Players, versus Los Matadores, versus the New Day, versus Lucha Dragons. Who you got, Will?
The Primetime Players, man. They're probably the best all-around tag team in the WWE. Looks, skill-wise, presentation, best drawing power, least amount of bad heat from the fans. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Primetime Players. And the fact that it's a whole gay rights thing, and what's his face is openly gay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go with Primetime Players.
Beast, what are your thoughts?
I'm going this way to New Day to win the titles back without pinning PTP and keep that feud going.
I agree with you. I'm hoping the New Day wins, but they still got to keep Titus O'Neil looking strong. So that is a good way to take the belts off them. Kev, you got any thoughts on that match, the 4-way tag team?
It's definitely going to be Primetime Players.
Okay, all right. Dolph Ziggler and Rusev. Gosh, this is okay. I know that I've told us to be succinct, but how is Lana and Ziggler? How are they not the heels in this? They keep agitating Rusev and Summer Rae. He's moved on. He's got himself a new flag, and Lana keeps coming out and messing with him when he has nothing to do with her. He's moved on. He's found a better version of her in his mind. So I'm gonna say Rusev, because I think he's got more upside to him than Ziggler right now. What do you say, Beast?
Agreed. Rusev, kick him in the head.
Okay. Well,
Rusev's, because Ziggler does so much better when he's putting another guy over than when he's going over himself. With the exception of him cashing in the Money in the Bank and becoming the World Heavyweight Champion, he's always better. His matches are always better when he's putting somebody else over.
I agree. What about you, Kev?
It's going to be Rusev, because first Lana is going to kick the shit out of Summer Rae and send her scurrying to the back. Then she's going to screw Dolph Ziggler and cost him the match, and it's going to be nothing but a schmoz fest between Rusev and Lana, back together again, right in the middle of the ring, and Dolph Ziggler leaves the scorned lover looking for revenge on both of them.
Wow, that is a bold prediction. That's the take of the night. Wow.
Indeed.
All right. We've got 3 more matches, guys. This is the least out of the 3. I don't even know why we're talking about this one.
Skip again. Ryback, Big Show, and Miz. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
One of these people has a title that nobody cares about.
For the Intercontinental Championship. So that's your bold prediction, is nobody will care about this match. Will, what about you? Who do you think is going to go over in this one?
The fact that we're saying that nobody cares about the Intercontinental title match says a lot about the state of this business. And I'm agreeing with him. Nobody cares who holds that title right now. Unless it's Chris Jericho or Dolph Ziggler or somebody. Nobody cares.
I think with the only one that can actually bring any prominence to it, and not through necessarily his in-ring ability, but for his promo work, I'm going to say Miz should go over in this one to make it at least get a few more eyeballs on the title. You have any thoughts on this one, Kev?
The reason nobody cares about this is because it's already too long in the tooth. Unfortunately, with Ryback's injury, they delayed this, and they really shouldn't have. They just should have done the match anyway without Ryback, and if they'd done it a month ago, I'd agree, yeah, Miz would have been the one that goes over, but it's been too long already. Everybody's already sick of the Miz now, so that ain't gonna happen. Big Show has been talking about retirement, and about hanging it up the last couple weeks. I got a gut feeling they put it on him, and they give him one more run with the title.
Gosh, I hope you're wrong.
Thanks.
The semi, well, I'm not sure if this one's going to go on. Okay, either Lesnar and Taker will go on last, and Taker will go over, or the Rollins versus Cena will be on last, and they'll have Cena go over. So whichever face is going over, they'll have last. So let's talk about this one first. Lesnar and Undertaker. It's this past week, I actually thought the build was really good. The video packages are better than anything that they've done recently. 4 weeks ago, whenever they kind of signed this match, I wasn't really looking forward to it, but now I kind of am. So Taker versus Lesnar. What are your thoughts, Will?
All right, first of all, Zay, because of this match, we're definitely going over time. We're definitely going past the 11 o'clock.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
What you just said should be proof that without a shadow of a doubt, Paul Heyman is the greatest stick man in this business. If it wasn't for Paul Heyman, nobody would still care about this match. But the fact that Paul Heyman, through his promos, has basically sold this match for everybody, should, without a shadow of a doubt, put him up there in the ranks of greatest managers of all time. I don't think anybody else, with the exception of maybe Bobby Heenan, could have sold this match single-handedly by himself as better or just as good as Paul Heyman. With that being said, can anybody else remember the last time that The Undertaker was actually booed?
Oh, probably.
Right, yeah, I was going to say, who is the heel and face in this match?
Yeah, I really feel like, I even mentioned on my Twitter, I can't remember the last time somebody booed, or The Undertaker was booed, out of an arena. That was amazing.
But by hook or by crook, the go home Raw to SummerSlam was in Lesnar's home state. That's like, when Daniel Bryan got that huge reaction in Washington a couple years ago. That's indicative of all fans. But it is interesting that it took place. The Go Home show took place there. So
yeah,
and they made a big deal about it being his home. It wasn't just like a throwaway thing. They made sure he was the returning hero and everything. And so I don't know about the heel and face dynamic in this match.
I think that, with that being said, I think it would only be good business sense. I'm saying this as one of the boys backstage, thinking long term. I think that it would only benefit the company if Brock Lesnar defeated The Undertaker. Because this is something that and I'm only saying this because of Paul Heyman. This is something that Paul Heyman can also use and build upon to build the quote-unquote legacy of Brock Lesnar. Paul Heyman has done an amazing job with this storyline. I know that it's supposed to be about the boys and about the wrestling, but I can't stop talking about how great of a manager, how great of a stickman Paul Heyman is. And because of that reason, and because I only tuned into Raw hoping that Paul Heyman would cut a promo, I'm hoping that Lesnar goes over.
Okay. Beast, what are your thoughts?
I'm thinking Lesnar goes over, and depending on whether or not the match is good or as good or better, well, I mean, it has to be at least better than the WrestleMania match. They build to a third Undertaker finally getting his win at WrestleMania. Okay,
Kev, you got any thoughts on this match?
It's going to be Lesnar. And that's really all I got to say on that. But the interesting analysis, you asked who's the heel, who's the face. I think WWE's doing a great job really just kind of letting the fans do their thing. Because if you think about this whole thing, this started with Seth Rollins challenging Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar is a heel character, period. But when Seth Rollins challenges and ended up taking the belt, he was the heel, which makes Lesnar the face. So Lesnar's going after Rollins, and then Undertaker interferes. Now Undertaker looks like the heel, even though he's just trying to get revenge for what happened to him getting screwed at WrestleMania a year before, so maybe he is the face. And plus you're in Minneapolis, which is Lesnar's hometown. Of course Lesnar's gonna get cheered because the hometown guy always gets cheered. Hell, Batista gets cheered in DC, and nobody likes Batista. Nobody. And he always gets cheered in DC because he's their guy. That's their hometown boy made good. So, I mean, I think it's really incredible the way WWE's just kind of let the fans decide for themselves how it's going to be played out. But I think once you get to the pay-per-view on Sunday, it's going to be Undertaker that's getting all the cheers. It's going to be Lesnar. It's getting the jeers. And to Will's credit, you're right. Heyman is what's making this really happen. Lesnar goes over because of that.
What? How is anything that Undertaker has done been a face move? He wants revenge for losing a match that Lesnar didn't cheat at. Lesnar straight up beat him. There was no outside interference, nothing like that at WrestleMania 30. And he's kicked him in the junk twice now. I don't see how, other than legacy status, that Undertaker could be considered a face in this feud. So
it's absolutely legacy status. You stick around long enough and everybody's gonna love you, no matter what the hell you do, and it's happened to every single wrestler in the business. If you can last longer than 20 years in this business, you're gonna be a babyface forever, no matter what. Look at Jerry Lawler. His whole career, he was nothing but a heel. But how many people hate Jerry Lawler today? Not a damn person. Terry Funk, heel his whole career. What is he today? Babyface. Nobody hates him. Ever. Andre the Giant, a good chunk of his career. Heel. He stuck around long enough. Babyface. Forever. Nobody hates him. And it's the same with Undertaker. It doesn't matter what character he comes out with. He could go back to being the American badass and do nothing around but stand around and ride around on his motorcycle all day and kick people in the balls. People are going to fucking cheer him unless you're in Brock Lesnar's backyard of Suplex City.
All right, my official prediction is Lesnar going over. All right, and
okay. As we go into the last match, I wanted to throw out a Anybody got any predictions about Jon Stewart's role in SummerSlam as we're going into the Seth Rollins match?
Thank you for bringing that up. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't. This isn't a prediction. It's just something I think would be pretty cool. Is if he ended up as the referee in the main event somehow, and I think John Cena. I'll go ahead and throw my prediction. I think John Cena's going to win it, and I think it'd just be something cool. Jon Stewart counts the three, might be like the outside enforcer, and has to slide in after the ref gets taken out, and Jon Stewart and John Cena celebrate with both the belts. I think it'd be cool.
I'm almost thinking that since Stewart is off of TV right now, that what would be more fun than to make a heel turn, since he's not going to be on the Daily Show anymore. I think that'd be fun if he aligned himself with Seth Rollins, because Rollins doesn't have the backing of J&J Security or Kane anymore, and I think that would be a fun thing. I don't think it's going to happen, but I would think it would be awesome. Will, do you have any thoughts about Jon Stewart?
I think that if Jon Stewart is involved in this match, I think it's going to start off like you said. Like there's a ref bump. Jon Stewart gets in the count of three, and I think that we might see the return of the curb stomp or something similar to that effect on Jon Stewart from Seth Rollins. I think they're going to go to like two or three referees in this match. I think that this is going to be the main event because they're going to go through so many different referees. I don't agree that John Cena is going to go over. We look at, his U.S. title reign. Even though he's still the champion, he has put a lot of guys over, match-wise. But
it's winner take all. So if Rollins wins, he's the new U.S. champion too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm thinking that, and because of that reason, I'm thinking that Rollins is going to go over. It makes, in my opinion, putting the title back on Cena, although may push merchandise sales up and stuff, he's still going to sell merchandise. He's still going to sell T-shirts. He's still going to be the face of the company. But on the other hand, if you if you put Rollins over and stuff, and he still remains the champ, that pushes his heel heat even further and solidifies him as the top heel, if not one of the top heels in the company. A loss for Rollins will definitely push him down the card.
Well, I wish before I made my official prediction that I could find out if there are any sculptors in the Connecticut area that are working on statues of Seth Rollins, because if he wins, then they're going to unveil that on Monday night, since he made that stipulation with the Authority that if he wins, he wants a statue of himself in Titan Towers. It's such a toss-up. I'm going to officially predict Rollins, but it's not a strong prediction. I can see them. I loved Rollins' promo this past Monday, saying that Cena is the disease and he's the cure. It really pushes the new, younger guys up to the top of the card, and I hope that that's what they're doing. But WWE's default setting is to put the championship on to Cena, so who knows? But I'm going to say Rollins. What about you? What do you say, Kev?
I say it's going to be John Cena. And the reason I say it's John Cena, because of what you just alluded to, establishing the new guys. And here's the reason why. John Cena alluded to this in his pay-per-view, that Seth Rollins really isn't his own man. He's the extended legacy of Triple H. And really, John Cena's whole point is his revenge is going to be making Seth Rollins a footnote. Except he already made the argument that Seth Rollins shouldn't be a footnote. Seth Rollins should be far and away the number one guy in this company. He should be the icon. He should be the leader. When people think WWE, it should be Seth Rollins. Except it's not. When they think WWE, they think Triple H. And Triple H is the kingmaker. And Seth Rollins is never going to escape that shadow and establish his own legacy as long as he's under Triple H's thumb. So the first thing that he has to do to get out of that, John Cena has to win and take that title from him, therefore damaging that relationship between Triple H and Seth Rollins. And within a year from now, you will see Seth Rollins so far and away from the authority and from Triple H that he stands as his own wrestler and his own bona fide superstar, showing that he belongs in this company. He's already made those steps. You notice J&J Security's no longer around. Kane is no longer around. He doesn't even need that help anymore. Where it looked like that he always needed that help, 6-8 months ago? Coming into this, he doesn't need it anymore. He's shown that he can take on the top superstars and succeed on his own without any help, without any interference, without any shenanigans. He's got the chutzpah to do it all. So, the final step, break that link between Rollins and Triple H. That's why Cena's going over.
Okay.
I think you nailed it.
All right. Well, this has been... What's that?
I think Kevin's wrong. I think that he's going to go over, and the relationship between him and Triple H is going to get strained because this quote-unquote ego is going to become so big that he's going to tell Triple H that he doesn't need him, and him and Triple H are going to end up feuding.
That's another way to go with it, too. So we will find out in just a few days. All right. We need to wrap up, guys. I know I've got something going on this Friday night. I'm going to the fifth quarter for Revenge of the Nerds, starring our favorites, the Yavin 4 and the Razor Ramones. And I'll be representing the Undisputed Wrestling show there. Then on Saturday night, I will be in Freetown, Indiana for Exodus Pro Wrestling. I'll be doing some ring announcing down there. Will, what do you got going on this weekend?
This weekend, I make my debut at NWA Midwest in Marion, Ohio.
Nice.
Say again?
I just said very nice. Awesome.
Oh, yeah. I will be defending actually, it's a champion versus champion match. It's myself defending Connie against their NWA Midwest secondary champion. I can't remember what the name of the title is, but the guy's name is the Pitbull Granger. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him or ever seen him or not, but that's who I'll be facing. I've watched a lot of footage. He's a really big guy in the same vein as a Russ Jones, as a Congo Kong, as a Drew Skills. You know, he's and when I say that, I'm not saying I might not be saying talent wise, but size wise, you know, he's a big, beefy guy and stuff. So hopefully I'll be, you know, a champion with 2 titles come Sunday morning.
Well, very nice. Very nice. And that's Saturday night in Marion, Ohio?
Marion, Ohio is where I will be at, which I think is like 4 hours away from Indianapolis.
Okay. All right. And Beast, the official referee for the Razor Ramones. You've got Friday night of the fifth quarter for Revenge of the Nerds. Anything else you got going on this weekend?
No, not too much. If you're in the central Indiana area, come to the Super China Buffet in Columbus, Indiana for our China Buffet extravaganza before SummerSlam. Come join us, at least eat some crab ragoons and talk wrestling with us before we all go our own ways and watch SummerSlam. But yeah, otherwise, don't follow me on social media. Just follow all the Razor Ramon stuff. On Rex followed it all. All I do is retweet alternative comedians and wrestlers. I don't have any of my own stuff, and I just complain on Facebook. So don't follow me. Follow the Razor Ramones.
Well, excellent. I will see you on Friday, and then I will see you on Sunday. Should be a fun wrestling weekend.